said check baby check baby check baby check said check baby check baby check 1 2 check baby check baby check said check baby check 1 2.
Hey everybody, it's Steph Davis here from flipthiswholesaler.net, and I am bringing you another reader mail video tonight. My question this evening comes from Darren, and Darren's question reads, "Hi Steph, I'm just getting started learning about wholesaling and was wondering if I should start marketing to motivated sellers or if I should focus on REOs instead. I've read through your blog and see that you prefer bank-owned properties. Is there any reason in particular you chose REOs as opposed to going after private seller deals? Do you have any suggestions on which path I should take if I'm just getting started? Thanks so much, Darren." Alright, Darren, this is actually a question that I get asked quite frequently, which is, why do you prefer going after REOs as opposed to private seller deals? And actually, when I first got started, my first, I think, 5 or 6 deals were actually non-REO properties. They were, deals with private sellers. I did, when I, was first getting started, I was doing marketing with bandit signs. I was using, like, we buy houses or I buy houses bandit signs. I did some direct mail. So that's how I got my first couple of deals. The reason why I switched over to REOs, actually, there were a couple of reasons. The first reason was that I didn't have any money for marketing, okay? I was broke when I first got started wholesaling. I had just quit my job. I didn't have any income. I didn't have any money coming in. I didn't have any cash reserves, unfortunately. So I didn't have any money to spend on marketing. And while there are some cheap and free ways to market for motivated sellers, like, you can put ads on Craigslist, you can do door knocking. There are things that you can do that don't cost any money to get deals, when you're targeting private sellers. If you really want to get a high volume of leads coming in, you really need to spend some money, whether it be on signs or direct mail or whatever. So since I was broke at the time, and also that coupled with the fact that, when I first got started wholesaling, it was right when kind of like the bottom fell out of the market here in Tampa and in other markets as well. So there started to, there were some bank-owned properties on the market, but when I got started wholesaling, it just kept increasing. There started to be a whole lot of REO properties on the market here in Tampa, so I just thought to myself, this kind of seems like a perfect storm. It's low-hanging fruit. There's a ton of REO properties on the market. I might as well go after these properties because it doesn't cost me anything to get the leads. Whereas opposed to if I'm marketing for motivated sellers, I'm going to have to spend money on signs or direct mail, like I said, to get leads coming in. So for me, it was just easier to go after. And also I had, it wasn't hard for me to get MLS access. I know that's a hang up that a lot of, beginning wholesalers that are wanting to go after bank-owned properties, they can't get MLS access. For me, I did a lot of marketing when I was just getting started. I went to a ton of REIA meetings. I met some people that had MLS access. These were people who were mostly investors or wholesalers, and they just had their license so they could get access to the MLS. So I was able to get MLS access through them. So for me, it was a combination of, like I said, I didn't have the money to spend on marketing, and also the fact that there were a ton of REO properties listed on the MLS in my market at the time. So those were, some of the reasons why I decided to go after REOs. Another one was that I never really felt comfortable. Maybe I didn't spend enough time, but I never felt comfortable going over to, some stranger's house and negotiating with them. I wasn't very good at it. I didn't feel comfortable doing it. I felt a lot more comfortable just making offers on the MLS. When you're making offers on bank-owned properties, there's no face-to-face negotiation. There's really no feelings involved or no emotion or anything. You just make the offer, and then the bank either rejects your offer, they accept it, or they counter. So I really like that aspect of it. So those were the reasons, for me for choosing REOs. And really, it kind of depends on, you're asking me to give you advice on, what you should do, go after bank-owned properties or go after private sellers. First of all, you can do, a little bit of both if you want to, but if you're just going to pick one or the other, it really kind of depends on your situation and the resources that you have available to you. Also, it depends on your market. I know that not every market is like Tampa, where there are a whole bunch of, and there have been for a while, a lot of REO inventory on the market. You might be somewhere in a rural area or somewhere that wasn't as that didn't get hit as hard by the when the market collapsed. We were in a bubble, so we had a ton of a run up in prices, and then the market collapsed, and then there were a ton of people that got foreclosed on. So it really kind of just depends on your market. The resources that you have available to you. I don't know if you have any money for marketing, if you can put some money into marketing for motivated sellers. For me, it just kind of seemed like an easy choice to go after REOs. So one thing to keep in mind, though, if you are going to go after REOs, there are a few more hoops that you have to jump through. Number one, when you're making offers on REOs, if you're going to be making cash offers, you're going to need a proof of funds letter. That's something that a lot of beginners, that's kind of a stumbling block that they have. So keep in mind that you will need, if you're making cash offers on, MLS properties, bank-owned properties, you're going to need a proof of funds letter. The second thing is that you're going to need an earnest money deposit. And usually it's going to be, $500 to $1,000 or more. So, for me, like I said, I didn't have a lot of money. I didn't actually have any extra money when I, was getting started. And I knew that I was going to have to come up with an earnest money deposit. But my thoughts were that if I end up getting a really good deal under contract, and I had done this is another thing, I had done my research, I had done my market research. So when I started making offers on bank-owned properties, I knew what I was doing. I knew that, I just picked one small area of Tampa and started making offers on properties in that area. I had some buyers lined up, so I knew what a good deal was. I knew that if I got something under contract, at a good price, that I'd be able to sell it. So my thought was, even though I didn't have the money for the earnest money deposit, of my own, I thought to myself, if I get a good deal under contract, I'll find the earnest money deposit from somewhere. I'll either get it from my end buyer, or I'll, partner on the deal with another wholesaler, maybe, show them the deal. Hey, I got this great deal under contract. I don't have the earnest money deposit. If you put up the deposit, I'll split the deal with you 50-50. And I actually did that a couple of times when I was just getting started, or I would borrow the money from somewhere. So, but that's something else to keep in mind, that if you're going to be making offers on REO properties, once you get an offer accepted, you're going to need to come up with that earnest money deposit. So, there's pros and cons to each one, to going after private sellers or going after REOs. You kind of just have to, weigh the resources that you have, whether you have money to spend on marketing, whether you can get access to the MLS or find someone who's willing to make offers for you. But so it kind of depends on your situation, but hopefully, what I've just told you could help you decide a little better of which one would work the best for you. And again, like I said, you can always do both. You can make some offers on bank-owned properties and then also at the same time be marketing to motivated sellers. So anyway, I hope that answered your question. If you have any further questions, feel free to leave a comment below. If anyone else would like to add anything to what I've said, feel free to leave a comment below also. So I'll talk to you guys next time. Have a good night. Take care. Bye-bye.